Welcome back to the Deep Dive. You know we're all about diving deep into the latest thinking on leadership and transformation, right?
That's right.
And today we're kicking off a special series.
Oh, cool.
It's like a mini course in transformational leadership.
I like it.
Think of it as like a personalized crash course in how to lead effectively.
Nice.
And for our first module,
Okay.
we're tackling the concept of developing a learning mind.
That's huge. It's like the foundation of everything, really.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And to guide us on this journey,
Great.
we're going to be drawing wisdom from the learning minds for transformation.
Okay, I know that one.
It's a chapter in Transforming the Impossible by Dr. Joshua Kolawole.
Oh, yeah. He really breaks down why a learning mind is so crucial for any successful leader.
Okay, so before we even crack open the book,
Yeah,
can you help me understand
sure.
what exactly is a learning mind?
Right.
It sounds like more than just being good at trivia night.
It definitely is. It's more of a mindset, like a constant hunger to grow and evolve and adapt, you know?
Mhm.
It's about being open to new information, challenging your assumptions,
Right.
always seeking to expand your understanding of the world.
I'm feeling inspired already.
Good.
And we haven't even gotten to the good stuff yet. So what does Dr. Kolawole say is so important about this learning mind?
For leadership especially.
Yeah.
He starts with a quote that just blew my mind. It's from Alvin Toffler.
Okay.
He says, "The illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read and write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn."
Wow. That is a powerful statement, especially in today's world where everything seems to be changing so fast.
Exactly. It's changing at warp speed. And if we're stuck in those old ways of thinking,
Yeah.
we'll become obsolete pretty quick.
Yeah.
That ability to unlearn outdated ideas and relearn new ones, that's crucial for leading effectively in pretty much any field.
So it's not just about being smart.
Right.
It's about being adaptable and constantly growing. And I can see how that would be critical for leadership.
For sure.
So what else does Dr. Kolawole highlight about the importance of a learning mind?
So he shares some interesting data from his own YouTube channel,
Okay.
and he noticed a significant drop-off in viewership after the age of 34, with another dip after 44.
Interesting.
And he suggests this might indicate that as people settle into adulthood, learning kind of takes a back seat.
That is a little sobering, to be honest. I mean, I get it. Life gets busy.
It does.
But you're saying we can't let those learning muscles atrophy if we want to be effective leaders.
Exactly. It's a call to action for all of us. We
Right.
need to resist that decline and make continuous learning a non-negotiable. It's an investment, really.
An investment in ourselves
Yeah.
and in our ability to lead effectively.
Absolutely.
So how do we actually do that?
Right.
How do we cultivate this learning mind?
Yeah, does he give us any practical steps?
Exactly.
He does. He outlines 5 key habits of highly effective learners, and these are things you can start implementing, like right away.
Okay. I'm all ears. Let's dive into these habits.
All right.
What's the first one?
The first one is all about being intentional. Don't just wait for learning to happen.
Okay.
Go out and make it happen. You know, build it into your schedule.
Yeah.
Invest in resources. Seek out mentors, coaches, experts who can help you level up.
So it's about taking ownership of our learning journey
Right.
and not just passively absorbing information.
Exactly.
I like that. What's the next habit on the list?
Habit number 2 is becoming what he calls an evolving specialist.
Okay.
And he talks about T-shaped versus M-shaped knowledge workers.
Oh, interesting. I haven't heard of those.
Yeah, so a T-shaped person has deep expertise in one area,
Okay.
but also broader knowledge across other disciplines.
So like a specialty,
Right.
but also branching out.
Yeah, having both depth and breadth. He uses the example of a software developer who understands marketing principles.
Wow.
They can create products that are not only technically sound,
Right.
but also meet the needs of the market.
That makes a lot of sense.
It does.
It's not enough to just be good at one thing anymore.
right.
You need to connect the dots and see the bigger picture.
Exactly.
So on to habit number 3.
Okay.
What's that all about?
This one might be a little less comfortable. Living outside your comfort zone. He tells a great story about learning to swim as an adult. He was terrified of the water,
Oh, wow.
but he forced himself to take lessons and push past that fear.
Hold on. You're saying I should actively seek out discomfort.
Uh-huh. Well,
Because that's where the growth happens.
Okay.
It's in those moments of discomfort and fear, pushing those boundaries,
yeah.
that we grow the most. Would he have become a confident swimmer if he had stayed away from the pool?
Okay. Yeah, I see your point. Growth happens outside of your comfort zone.
Exactly.
What about habit number 4? That's all about building your leadership brand.
Yeah.
It's about being strategic about how you present yourself to the world.
Huh?
What values and expertise do you represent?
Okay.
What impact do you want to make?
Interesting.
He stresses connecting with those professional networks, building that strong reputation.
So it's not just about what you know,
It's not.
but about how you're perceived by others.
Yeah, like building your reputation.
As a thought leader
Right.
and someone who can get things done.
Precisely.
Okay.
It's the unique value you bring to the table
Mhm.
and the impact you have
Got it.
on those around you.
And finally, habit number 5.
This one is all about aligning your work with your passion.
Okay, yeah.
He brings in this Japanese concept of ikigai.
Oh, I've heard of that. Finding work that feels meaningful and fulfilling, right?
Yes, where your passion, mission, vocation, profession all intersect.
But how do you actually figure out what your ikigai is? That seems tricky.
It can be, but he provides some helpful questions. Like, what are you good at?
Mm-hmm.
What do you love to do? What does the world need?
Right.
And what can you be paid for?
Okay, yeah.
You start to identify that sweet spot.
So it's like finding that intersection
Right.
where your work feels less like a job
Exactly.
and more like a calling.
Yes.
I could see how that would be motivating.
Absolutely. When you're passionate about what you do, it's a game changer. Challenges become opportunities.
Totally.
And hard work feels less like a chore and more like a mission.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
It is.
So we've got these 5 habits, these powerful tools to start cultivating our learning minds.
Right?
And in the next part of our deep dive,
Yes.
we'll explore how these principles translate into real-world impact. We'll look at some inspiring examples
Looking forward to it.
and see how leaders with a learning mind are making a difference in the world.
Me too. It's gonna be good. Welcome back to our deep dive into the learning minds for transformation. We've talked about why learning mind is so important for leadership and how to start cultivating that mindset. But
Yeah, it's great to talk about concepts and theories,
right,
but I'm always eager to see how they play out in practice.
the real world stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So does Dr. Kolawole give us any real-world examples?
absolutely. He showcases the journey of Dr. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus,
Okay.
the current Director General of the World Health Organization.
Oh, I've heard of him.
Yeah.
Didn't he play a key role in the COVID-19 pandemic response?
He did, but his journey to becoming the head of the WHO is equally remarkable. You know,
Really?
he grew up in a malaria-stricken region of Ethiopia
Wow.
and witnessed the devastating effects firsthand. That experience ignited a passion in him to improve global health.
So how did he go from there to leading the world's foremost health organization?
Well, his path was anything but linear. He started with a Bachelor of Science degree in biology, then worked as a field malariologist, tackling the disease head-on.
Wow.
He later pursued a Master of Science degree from the University of London
Right?
and a Doctor of Philosophy and Community Health from the University of Nottingham.
It sounds like he was building a solid foundation of technical knowledge.
In public health, yes.
But how did he move from academia to leadership on a global scale?
He recognized that knowledge alone wasn't enough. He needed to lead
Apply.
and lead change, yeah.
So what'd he do?
He took on increasingly challenging roles
Okay.
within the Ethiopian government,
Yeah.
serving as the head of the Tigray Regional Health Bureau, then rising to become the Minister of Health of Ethiopia,
Wow.
and later the Minister of Foreign Affairs.
That's impressive. It seems like each step was a learning opportunity for him,
It was.
allowing him to expand his knowledge and his sphere of influence.
Exactly. And throughout this journey, his learning mind was evident.
Okay.
Dr. Kolawole highlights how he constantly sought to understand the root causes of health challenges, embraced innovative solutions,
Yeah.
and built those strong partnerships.
So it wasn't just about climbing the career ladder,
It wasn't.
but about using each step to make a greater impact.
Yes, and his journey culminated in his candidacy for Director General of the WHO.
Wow.
He campaigned on his experience,
Yeah.
deep understanding of global health,
Right.
and a vision of health for all.
It's incredibly inspiring to see how he went from witnessing the devastation of malaria as a child
Right.
to leading the global fight against health inequities.
Yeah, his story is a powerful testament to the transformative potential of a learning mind.
Absolutely.
And Dr. Kolawole uses his story to illustrate the 3 levels of transformation he identifies.
Okay, which are?
Technical knowledge, leadership capacity,
Okay.
and problem-solving ability.
Okay, let's break those down. Technical knowledge seems pretty straightforward.
Yeah, it's about having the expertise, right?
Right, in your field.
But it's more than just textbook knowledge. It's about being able to analyze information, understand complex systems, and apply those skills.
Got it. So technical knowledge is the foundation.
Yes.
What about leadership capacity?
This is about developing the skills to inspire and motivate, guide others towards a shared vision.
Okay.
It's communication, collaboration, building trust within teams and across organizations.
That makes sense. He couldn't have achieved what he did without being an effective leader.
Exactly.
And finally, problem-solving ability.
This is where it all comes together.
Okay.
It's about analyzing those complex situations, thinking critically,
Yeah.
developing those creative solutions, being adaptable, knowing that there isn't always a clear answer,
Right.
and being willing to learn and adjust as you go.
So he's faced countless challenges throughout his career, right?
He has, from disease outbreaks to funding shortages.
And his problem-solving skills have been essential.
They have.
I love how Dr. Kolawole presents these 3 levels of transformation as a journey.
It is a journey.
We're all on. We can constantly be developing our technical skills,
Right.
honing our leadership abilities,
Yes.
becoming more effective problem solvers.
Absolutely. And it's continuous, a lifelong pursuit.
This whole conversation is making me think about the different ways we learn.
Okay.
Dr. Kolawole talks about structured and non-structured learning systems. Can you explain what he means?
He's highlighting the difference between formal education
Okay.
and the learning that happens outside the classroom.
Okay, so structured learning would be like going to school, taking courses.
Yes, getting certifications, building that knowledge base, that kind of learning is incredibly valuable. It gives us a framework,
Yes.
helps us develop critical thinking skills, exposes us to different perspectives. But we can't stop there.
Because real life doesn't always follow a syllabus.
Exactly. Real life experiences are non-structured learning.
Okay.
It's about learning from our mistakes, observing others,
Yeah.
adapting to new situations,
Right.
extracting wisdom from unexpected sources.
So it's happening all the time, whether we realize it or not.
It is. He shares an anecdote about learning about building construction from his father
Oh, wow.
and business from his mother
That's interesting.
as a child.
I love those examples because they're so relatable.
Yeah.
We all have these experiences that shape us,
We do.
even if they don't happen in a classroom.
Right, and we need to be open to learning from every experience, planned or unplanned.
But how do we make sure we're actually learning from these everyday experiences? It's easy to just go through the motions.
It is. That's where his learning toolkit comes in.
Okay, I'm interested in hearing about this toolkit. What kind of tools are we talking about?
We'll dive into specifics in the next part.
Okay.
But he talks about focused and diffuse learning,
Okay.
becoming more data sensitive, maximizing those aha moments,
Ooh, interesting.
and avoiding the illusion of learning.
Okay, sounds like we're going to get practical and tactical in the next segment.
We are.
Can't wait to hear more.
It'll be good.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We've been exploring this idea of a learning mind for transformational leadership.
We have. It's been quite a journey.
Yeah, and we've seen how it can help us navigate this crazy world we live in, right?
This ever-changing world, for sure.
Exactly. So now it's time to equip ourselves with the right tools.
The tools to make this learning mind even more effective.
Exactly. You mentioned Dr. Kolawole's learning toolkit earlier, right?
I did, yeah.
Let's dive into that
Okay, sounds good.
and see what we can learn.
So he starts by highlighting focused and diffuse learning.
Okay.
And he draws on research by Barbara Oakley,
Okay.
who emphasizes this power of alternating between intense concentration and letting your mind wander.
I can totally relate to that.
Really?
Sometimes when I'm stuck on a problem, the solution just pops up after I take a break.
Ah, interesting.
Is that what diffuse learning is?
It is. It's about giving your brain space to make connections,
Okay.
generate those creative insights.
So focused learning is like shining a spotlight.
Yeah, on a specific problem.
And diffuse learning is letting the light spread out.
Exactly. You see things from different angles.
Okay, so it's about finding that balance
Right.
between focused effort and relaxed exploration.
Yes. How can we incorporate both into our lives?
That's a good question. What does he suggest?
He suggests scheduling time for both,
Okay.
block out time for deep work where you can really concentrate,
Mm-hmm.
but also make time for activities that let your mind wander.
Okay, so like,
Walking, listening to music,
yeah,
spending time in nature, whatever works for you.
I'm putting diffuse thinking walks on my schedule right now.
I love it.
What else is in the toolkit?
He talks about becoming more data sensitive
Okay.
in everyday life, paying attention to details, patterns and trends that we might normally overlook.
So it's like turning our everyday experiences into learning opportunities.
Exactly.
It's like being a detective in our own lives.
I love that. Looking for clues and insights.
Yes. And it's not just about observing, right?
No.
It's also about seeking feedback
Yes.
and evaluation.
We shouldn't just assume we're doing things right.
That's true.
We need to be open to criticism, learn from mistakes, and keep refining our approach.
Right. So this ties back to that growth mindset,
It does.
embracing feedback as a way to improve.
Absolutely. Challenges are learning opportunities, constantly seeking ways to get better. He also encourages us to maximize those aha moments.
Yeah, those light bulb moments.
Yes.
They're the best, but they seem so random.
They do. We can't force them,
Okay.
but we can create conditions that make them more likely.
So how do we do that?
Pay attention to those moments, reflect on what triggered them,
Okay.
and try to create environments that foster those insights.
Okay, so be mindful of those breakthroughs and figure out how to make them happen more.
Exactly.
What's the final tool in the kit?
This one is a warning, actually.
Oh.
He warns against the illusion of learning.
Okay.
It's easy to mistake surface knowledge for mastery.
Right.
We might think we understand something after reading a book, but until we've applied it.
Yes. We haven't truly learned it.
So it's about moving beyond just passively taking in the information.
Right. Actively engaging with it.
Yeah, testing it out.
Making it your own.
I like that.
It might involve teaching it to someone, writing about it, using it to solve a problem.
Whatever helps solidify it.
Exactly.
So we've talked about a lot, from the learning mind to these practical tools. Feels like a complete mini course in transformational leadership.
It does.
But there's one more thing Dr. Kolawole talks about.
That's that.
This idea of cultivating intelligence and wisdom.
Right. He defines brilliance as the ability to memorize information. Intelligence as using knowledge to solve problems. And wisdom as understanding the implications of our choices and making decisions that align with our values.
So it's not just about being smart.
It's not.
It's about making a positive impact.
Yes. Applying those smarts for something bigger than ourselves.
And to cultivate that wisdom, he believes learning circles can play a key role. They can. He describes them as groups of people who come together to learn,
Okay.
sharing insights, challenging each other.
Holding each other accountable.
Exactly. A powerful way to accelerate learning and challenge those illusions of learning.
Yeah, you get multiple perspectives.
Diverse experiences, a built-in support system.
Dr. Kolawole encourages us to join or create learning circles,
He does,
even virtually.
to foster that collaborative environment.
That's a great action item.
It is a fantastic way to put these principles into practice.
So as we wrap up this deep dive,
Yeah.
the message is clear.
What's that?
Learning is a lifelong journey
It is.
that requires intentionality, curiosity,
Yes.
and a willingness to embrace discomfort.
And challenge ourselves.
Exactly.
Correct.
It's an invitation to become lifelong learners, constantly seeking new knowledge,
Expanding our perspective.
using it to create positive change.
Absolutely.
It's been an amazing journey exploring these insights.
It has.
Hopefully you've gained some valuable tools and inspiration
I think so.
to enhance your own learning journey.
And become the leader you aspire to be.
That's it for this deep dive.
Until next time.
Keep learning, keep growing.
And keep transforming.